to counter screw them. So at the very end, when the lawyers think they're getting all this big check, there is something missing a few digits.
What do you mean?
Well, instead of them getting say, oh, we're going to make £1 million or euros off of this trial, at the end they might only make 10,000. Let's figure out an 80 of it could be zero. Money could be taken out of their account because they're smart. I would say the people ganged up against those lawyers, but they let everything play out so that they were going to winning that case. And so they screwed it because they found the loophole in the law. I'm not going to say it is, but we'll just say, for example, maritime law. Or the old Irish law. I forget the name of it, but I do know of it, the existence. And now we're able to screw the lawyers at the end. Right? So when the lawyers, they don't realize...
Is it because of the oldness of a long time ago that this happened? When did this happen?
When exactly did it happen? We were there in 2005 or 2006. I'd probably say within that.
After 9/11?
And that's how I heard it.
9/11 happened in 2001. Was it a lot of security, or was it pretty lax back then?
No, this was a court case between somebody in the town of Fermoy and someone else or somewhere else, but it was the lawyers for the plaintiff. I'm suing you and you're counter-suing me.
Okay. Your
lawyers and they're like, hey, you know what? We go through motions, we can put this, we can tie it up in court.
You're talking about a maritime law. I get the idea that you're saying you're just throwing that as an example of an archaic law.
Why can we use the law on our side to fuck these lawyers? We got to outsmart the smarty pants. That's how my philosophy is.
Well, typically what happens is they end up lobbying politicians to pass laws to give them immunity, and if that can't happen, then they get charged and convicted, and then they get a pardon. And this is the great revolving door of the corruption that is politics, right? People retire, they get amnesia, they get Alzheimer's all of a sudden. You know those operations, right?
If you speak up, it's hard to hear you. Exactly.
I was confused.
Can you come closer? My eyesight's a little bit bad.
I was just trying to fit in.
Is that you, Julie?
I talk.
Carol, is that you?
I talk just to...
Carol! Right? Well, you're taking a picture. That's Carol 10 years ago. Yeah, it looks like her. Well, Carol with a beard. I knew you grew a beard like Grandma.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? She's my sister.
No, we're talking about you.
We come from the same penis and vagina.
Yeah, no, I say, hey, Maurice, when you look at your brother-in-law, aren't you sure glad that Carol got that process? That procedure, that's good. She's
very nice, very nice, though.
If not, what he looks like, she would look like.
Yeah. What
is it? Fat shit crap you eat? Too much what you eat?
I eat lovely. I love eating, man.
Well, you know what? That's first be a discipline.
No, I just don't have a cigarette addiction, and then you curb your appetite with cigarettes.
And coffee.
But
I can go, what I do eat, I do put in the good calories. I do believe it. Like I said, I've been having trouble forcing myself to eat. But what about in the daytime? Daytime at work. Working, I go...
What about, are you talking about my diet during work?
Your diet. I got time.
I basically try to eat healthy at my work. I eat, like I'm eating cans of salmon.
I got a couple cans.
And I've got, that's what I like to eat at lunch because it really loves...
salmon sandwiches.
I don't put any sandwiches, and then I have some of those drinks, those vanilla drinks.
I picked up a 6-pack of that.
Yeah.
I'm beyond that now. I can see it. You know why? Because then you're guaranteed. It's like taking a one-a-day vitamin. Yeah. You're guaranteed taking that.
Yeah.
It's I remember at school.
It's rich, though. It's rich.
In Pal River.
And then I like to eat apples.
That's fine.
And I drink a lot of water. Plus, when I'm working, I really have a different mindset about
you gotta have the energy food too.
When I'm down, I get tired.
Stay away from the chips.
Yeah, well, I gotta stay away from it all, right?
I don't mind chocolate because that gives you the energy boost. It's
well,
a chocolate bar, half a chocolate bar better than a.
Thing is, when you try to cut down on coffee, you end up supplementing with chocolate. Have you noticed that? Yeah, or are you just fucking addicted to
I think there's a correlation between the two.
Yeah.
Something that's sweet. An alcoholic When you give up drinking, you go for something sweet, candies.
Right.
Sweetness of it.
And alcohol is another dependency that happens really out. It creeps up on you. Yeah. It just does, man. Hey, you really like drinking, don't you? Yeah, you really do.
You guys, we don't get the answer today. But find out, brainstorm somewhere in between now and the fall, so we can extend the growing season by, we'll say, we can supplement it with lights too.
But that's the thing. We need lights.
No, we don't.
We have the lights already. We just have to. What we have to do is we have to invest in a new set of lights, a fresh set of lights, so that it gives us a better quality light.
We got
because they degrade over time. By the way,
those lights are only on. They're on half. They're not both. One's.
I'm just saying that you can take that into consideration. The quality of the light,
right.
And then if we want to use premium inputs all the time, we need to make those investments.
Well, yeah.
Rationalize them. 3 plants might not be the optimum amount. We might have to go 6 plants to make it worth our while, because we have them so much light, right? Understand?
Yeah, in that one.
In that space,
they talked about that. What you end up doing,
and we could program our system to be self-regulating and timed for that 8 weeks later. It automatically diminishes by 10%, by 10%, and it goes to a certain level. And we do that for a cycle. And then we see quality, and we can there's a system by which you could take pictures, and there would be a difference. Every day there'd be a difference in the picture. And that would be the measurement by which light could be increased or decreased in nutrition, right?
Well, you could do that, but you could just take it by purely looking at it, Michelle.
No, but you take 3 different measures. You basically you keep taking measurements, and every measurement that you take improves on the previous measurement.
I can open up and look at it.
No, but the point being is this: you know that you're within a range that is optimum when you're 97% of your results fall in within 3 sigma of your baseline. And it's a self-correcting mechanism.
Yeah, it's the formula in there, but you know what? It's hands-on. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't algorithm that. They're trying to figure that one out.
I've studied this in instrumentation.
In instrumentation, it's the lights get in there.
Right.
In instrumentation, you just draw up a little picture, and there. It just takes some time. I'm talking about the photo cells that flash. Right? How would you set up something so it goes off every second?
Well, that would be time-lapse photography.
No, I want the flash to go off every second.
Well, it'd be flash too. Why would you want to flash every second, though?
Because you do 20 flashes, 20 bulbs, and you take.
You need to take a picture every flash.
I just want every flash.
So
I don't care about
what would happen? What would be the point of that, though?
That would be
just burn flashes for nothing. You drain your battery.
It's regenerating. It's juicing back up again.
Juicing what back up?
The flash. There are those flashes. These are newer flashes, the older flashes. You got them, I know that. And one of the guys was there, and I trust me. These guys I listen to.
Yeah.
And now it is. I say they talk about clipping. It's a stress. You give it less water, let it go dry. It's stress. It's under cold. It's stress. These guys torture the plants.
Well, we have pretty harsh.
Thank you very much for the tip.
We have harsh conditions here too.
No, these are growing indoors.
Right.
These are
but there are swings in temperatures like they were in the mountains and the deserts here.
They got these things. Trust me, the swings in temperatures are here. This could be making hardy. These, when they're growing indoors, they're all regulated. They're growing in the same way, unless of course.
Well, right now you've got a CO2 rich environment.
Who does?
Right here. The environment, because the environment has a lot of CO2 in it.
It's up Kapuskasing?
The whole wide world. It's enriched because of the global warming, and vegetation loves that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and that's why vegetation's out of control. That's why we're able to feed ourselves. There's a positive side to it too.
How we feed ourselves?
Thing is, it's going to get bloody hot. Now you're going to need air conditioning, and that's going to compound the problem because now you're going to burn fossil fuels and put more carbon in the air.
You don't burn fossil fuels.
Well, most of the times people do.
They'll burn renewable energy like hydro.
Air-conditioned cars, man.
Why do you think?
What do you think?
Hydro One and the province OPG and the province of Ontario were in such a hurry They got on this thing about building or refurbishing or adding.
Well, they had to do it. It was 100 years old already.
Yeah, but they're adding greater capacity.
Of course.
Right.
The Smoky Falls was underutilized by a factor of like 6, because the old power dam couldn't take the amount of water that was potentially there, being held back at Little Long. It had to be diverted around the Smoky.
They were losing money.
They were losing money.
And we put it on to building money.
Like they're talking every second. There's $10,000 worth of fucking electricity coming across that thing, right? So multiply that by 10,000 by a minute, and I might be exaggerating on that. Remember, maybe low or maybe high.
Well, I remember.
There's a lot of power. A lot of toasters are being fucking toasted.
Out of the spillway, it's less spillway now.
Well, they don't generate electricity if there's no load, because it costs money to push that electricity to where it's needed. Right?
Yeah, it's spillway.
Because there's no load, that means there's no demand. So what's the point of?
There's always, but you're feeding but there's a load somewhere, and what you do.
At 5 o'clock, when people start cooking and people start doing laundry, that's when the load happens.
Yeah, but it's
or industry, but industry times it with downtime. Like Spruce Falls will use their TMP on the off hours, and they'll, for the benefit of being governed by time usage of electricity, they can make big batches and they can negotiate better rates, and that's how they manage their electrical costs.
Maybe that's what that's what I think these grow shows are going to do. Right? Because remember, it's not green isn't green. Pot that's growing in peak hours, come on.
It doesn't matter, because part of the propaganda and the mandate of the provincial government is to make sure that we are using the electricity that we can generate and find opportunities for it. And by taking electricity that's generated from hydroelectric power that we have to pay for, we're actually turning money, we're basically transferring the value of the money into the lights that's growing the pot, giving the pot the value. So now basically it's like a store of energy, right? Because if you want to buy pot from me, now you need to have the money at least to cover the electricity and my efforts to have grown this fine herb. So it becomes like a commodity, and the government is undermined at that point. You basically, the government, the Queen doesn't have a contract protecting herself from that nonsense. That's why you can't do it. Same thing with booze, right? You can't take the fucking Queen's lumber and fucking moonshine it, take the moonshine out of it, and not give her a cut of the action. Because ultimately, people just want to be fucked up.
Yeah, they want to be fucked up somehow.
You know?
A little bit of booze, a little bit of pot, a little bit of gasoline, cocaine, whatever, oxycodone.
Whatever's in the marketplace.
Yeah, I saw that blonde that lives at the corner over here.
Which corner?
By the school.
By the school.
Yeah, I saw her the other day when I got back. Yesterday, maybe. No, Friday night. I go over on the block. She was out having a cigarette, and then some guy came out.
There you
She
go.
was in her shorts and walked right by me and said hi. I had to think that little tag.
Well,
for,
maybe she has an eye on you.
I thought that little tag there.
Yeah.
And for my phone number. Excuse me, Mademoiselle. I think
Mademoiselle.
this dropped out of
Was she
your pocket.
French? Was she French?
I don't know. I was already prepared.
But you were already talking about Mademoiselle. Did you call her Mademoiselle?
No, so hello.
Okay. Mademoiselle. At least you know the Mademoiselle part of it.
Excuse me, Mademoiselle. I mean, it's young lady, right?
Miss.
Yes, but it's a young miss. No, it's like, como está la chica?
No, in French, Miss is Mademoiselle.
Bonita.
Puis Madame is Mrs.
Puis Madame, no.
Puis Monsieur is Mr.
Mister is any age.
Puis Papa, c'est Grandpa. Puis ma mère, c'est Grandma. Puis en anglais, c'est quoi? Je sais pas. Grandpa, Grandpa, Grandma. That's how that's how I would operate.
Doesn't really matter.
But I know that when I run into somebody who refers to his grandparents as my man and papa, I know that he's from a good family. Or she's from a good family.
We get this going.
Yeah.
We get somebody, no matter how little we get.
Yeah.
We're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's not like that's not the one we have. That would be the first choice.
Well, there's challenges, economic challenges I'm going to face soon enough. So I don't know how I'm going to overcome them, but I might need you on my team there, Brian. You know.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do, Michelle.
Well, I'm thinking maybe if I start doing music, I'm going to need some assistance with my equipment and, you know.
Oh, it helps like a roadie?
Collecting, well, there's that, and also like collecting money and.
For the CDs we're going to sell you? Oh, I saw that Dennis put it down. They're going to be selling it somewhere on his thing. But what he needs to do is promote himself on local radio, even if it's independent from the university. Get some airplay somewhere.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He can get the attention of the radio station, no doubt. He just has to make a call. He'll be right in there. Thing is who's listening to the radio?
Doesn't matter.
You almost have to broadcast your own little show, do a little live broadcast from the Sunshine, or from the from the Sunshine. The thing is that you have to appeal to a broader spectrum of people. You know, you have
Truckers
to.
coming through. Guess what? A trucker.
Country music is big.
Hey, fuck you!
A lot of you older guys would come up for.
On his way to driving across Canada.
But imagine if you could have a bar and you could offer like nice gourmet coffees instead of booze, and having people there of all ages enjoying music at a reasonable level,
instead of freaking drinking.
And smoking dope, if that's what you guys want to do. But I'd like to be able to make money on
coffee,
because I need to make money somehow to play music, right? What if I approached the Sunshine and said, "Look, man, I'd like to learn how this business operates. So I want to go on like a 6 months apprenticeship and see if I want to buy it. And in the meantime, do like a YouTube broadcast and try to raise money from people who would be interested in helping me out, man, because it could happen."
You know what? Yeah, that might be a good idea. A silent partners.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not making a commitment to taking over the business, but I'm just saying. I'd like to see how a business like that operates.
You could turn that okay, you know, with a little effort. I don't know upstairs, but I can envision all the windows.
And the worst case scenario, maybe I just become like a paid manager to manage the bar and hire music and put on shows. Like I could see why not use that as a community fucking kind of
come on in.
Like a showcase. Hey, every 3 months do a rotation. You know, we're gonna do in 3 months. We're gonna do a showcase so go home and practice your guitar, your accordion, and we're gonna come on for a song. Try to keep it to 3 minutes, and we'll just do a rotation. Take videos of you, and then eventually from those guys, groups would form, and then the next time around they would have a group. You know, just kind of nurture that. And then broadcast live from on the YouTube the shows that we put on with commentators and maybe.
You could have a split screen or something like that. The guy's playing and the guy's talking.
I'm just saying it's a doable thing. Thing is that I don't have $275,000 to invest.
What do you got to put a down payment on? That's runs up to $300,000.
And Karen says I have to have the privilege of looking at the books and assessing that if in the last 5 years there's been any money made. Because basically the business is basically worth, she says, 10 times the annual earnings average. So let's say somebody's making $30,000 a year owning that business. Okay, so that business is worth $300,000. That's how she says that you're supposed to price a business. Give or take. Plus, she says there's a certain amount of goodwill too. But see, the beauty of this opportunity here, Brian, is if I'm a construction worker and I can actually have cash flow, right? And I can invest in a place, and the money that is paid in like rents, I reinvest it and buy the properties in front and across.
That takes a bit of time, yeah.
Right? And develop it. Because now I'm building into the equation an actual audience.
That'd be a lot of money.
But it's got the beer store. It's near the bus station. It's near the Tim Hortons. It's got that Nick's chip stand. It's got the O'Brien's. O'Brien's is wonderful competition. Two competitive businesses like that could actually be very helpful for business. And there's there's a whole, like O'Brien and Henderson. Those are pretty cool location. Like you could actually turn that into a kind of like the entertainment district.
They could have the blues festival,
right?
The music festival, like downtown. What's downtown?
Right, you can actually do that. You could
Close the
actually
streets, right?
close the streets and put on a big show for like all ages. You're right. That would be awesome, man. And people
Not
could
just
park.
the circle.
And people could park at the
Circle.
at the bus station and come in and enjoy the show. You
They
know,
could have the, hey, you know what? They could even have the
beer store there. People will fucking be buying beer, walking around the streets, getting smashed.
No, you can't. Don't want that.
There'd be none of that, eh?
No smashing, man.
But there'd have to be beer involved for sure. That's the
Beer
way.
in a plastic cup.
You know, yeah. The universal symbol of
Beer
fucked
in a
up
can.
is that red cup. That's with the white red
Yeah,
Dixie
that's
cup.
we gotta go recycling. Everything's gotta be recycled then. That's a dirty.
You're right.
Can't
But I
do
think it would be
that.
good. It has to appeal to all ages, just like my music. I can put up a put together repertoire, and play a lot of like old folks' homes, and really put on a good show for them, because of the songs I could put together. Right. Songs that their grandfathers might have sung. That's what I'm talking about. There's one song that I sang. It goes back over 400 years. And they're crazy, beautiful lyrics in French. And have a whole Cajun fucking fiddle. I'd like to work with a fiddler and a accordion player. That'd be fun. Well, you knew that.
Yeah, this guy's gonna get clean.
Yeah?
We're gonna take it. We'll take it from up here. We let that roll to two.
That might be, yeah, but you have to wait till next week because you need at least to be able to put it in the ground and give it a chance, right?
No, this goes in the pods.
Pods?
Leave them in the pods and keep and the dome put on there. They're put like that for like a week.
Yeah.
Yep. We can put those in the tent. Put
Okay.
the clone in the tent.
So long as they're females.
They'll all be females.
If they're so long as they're females, that's going to be beautiful.
They're all.
What would be the odds? But what would the odds be of them all being female? When the 50% of them were female? Because you got rid of 3 of them, I think, right?
Upstairs.
Here,
No, these,
downstairs, I think we had 7,
these are from downstairs.
and then one of them died. Savio's upstairs had no root system whatsoever. How the hell was it even staying alive? I don't know.
Barely.
Crazy kids. Anyways.
Because I would go for the female, take it, clone it, put it up in the tent, and then put it on that cycle. It's on a budding cycle. It's in a slow vegetation cycle. Let it grow,
Yeah.
and there's your mother. And
Yeah.
the rest down here, you get to enjoy and see this is what's to come.
You're right.
Yeah, that.
When you're right, you're right, man.
Get a little frost on in there. The leaves go purple, just like in that picture. Yeah, those ones, the extended growing season ended October.
I was so taken aback by those Indians that just focused their whole lives on marijuana. The whole village is based on marijuana. It's growing everywhere, Brian. It's like the Xanadu of fucking dope.
Well, they know that there's a need for it.
They just make hash there, though. It's funny.
Fuck, that's probably up.
And they
to the
smoke it
job.
too. They smoke it, and they probably get a good buzz off of it.
Because I remember these guys in university. His name was Ted.
But they don't touch other outsiders. They don't come into contact